Let me start with a very hard truth. It's always maybe harsh truth. If something promises you dollars, no skills, no structure, and no learning curve, it is not a side hustle. People, it is a bait. I'm Dr. Ish, former banker, and I've seen how real money moves and how fake opportunities are repackaged. So today I'm breaking down side hustles that actually pay dollars without scams, without pressures, and without pretending everyone will become rich overnight. These are not shortcuts, they are systems. All right, they are not shortcuts and they are systems. So this is very, very important for you to notice. Shortcuts usually, just going by their name, shortcuts, actually put people in a lot of trouble. But first of all, we're going to start with the basics. And before I list anything, I need to explain how bankers define real income. All right. So, real income has three basic qualities. One is that it is traceable, two, it is repeatable, and three, it is explainable. If you cannot explain how the money is made in one clear sentence, the bank doesn't trust it. This goes especially for people who are looking to take bank loans. This is part of the things that they're going to analyze. And the same rule should apply to you. Real dollar paying side hustle solves problems for people who already have money. That is the key. Now, the most reliable way to earn in dollar is through skills. Okay, so skills travel, and once skills travel, currency follows. Now, just in case you are meeting me for the first time, you're welcome to Finance with Dr. Ish. My name is Dr. Ish. I am also a former banker of over 2 decades and a finance strategist. And in this channel, we'll be breaking down how money usually works across the UK, the United States, and Nigeria. Those are three very particular countries I'm passionate about and where I have a good majority of my audiences. Of course, even if you're in any other country, these rules, somewhat to an extent, will still apply. And today we're talking about hustles that actually pay in dollars. Now, we're not talking about trends, we're not talking about hype, and we're not looking for a way to activate that will actively drain your time without results. Of course, with inflation happening everywhere in the world, layoffs, and rising cost of living, earning in strong currencies has become a financial strategy and not a luxury. So, in this breakdown, I'll show you realistic side hustles that generate verifiable income, how they work country by country, and how to think about them the way a banker, as myself, would. This is education, not guaranteed. So you can make informed choices. And of course, as usual, as I'd always say, you can do your own research to buttress all what I am going to be telling you going forward. But first of all, let's start by defining what a real side hustle is. Okay. So a real side hustle has three characteristics, three very important characteristics. I almost missed out on them at the beginning, but it's very important you get to know what they are. First is that it generates income outside your primary job or studies. And the second is that it has a clear payment structure, meaning you know how money comes in, when it pays out, and through which platform or bank. I know this may sound boring to some certain set of people, but trust me, if you go by these principles, you can hardly ever go wrong. Now, the third is that it can either be active trading time for money or system based, where your income will continue even after the work is done. And from a banker's perspective, clarity matters. Really, it does. And if you can't, clearly explain how you get paid, how often, and in what currency, it's not a business. It's a gamble. You're just gambling your time. And with that framework, let's quickly break this down country by country. As usual in our fashion, we will be starting with the United Kingdom. Hustles that pay well often sit in the intersection of digital skills and global demand. So freelancing remains strong. When I'm talking about freelancing, I'm referring to writing, voiceover work, and virtual assistance as services business need regardless of your location. Very important, these skills are money making and legit. Retail-based digital businesses such as Etsy, digital products, or resale platforms work because delivery is instant and costs are low. You will not be spending too much on cost. Now, content-based income, like of course YouTube, combined with affiliate marketing, becomes powerful when paired with consistency and niche focus, knowing where your strength lies. And from a banker's view, UK hustles that scale best are those with low overhead and international customers. Everybody likes the sound of having international customers, basically because the stronger the currency in terms of value, the more earning power and capacity you have. So moving to the US of A offers one advantage: market size. Now, the GIG economy platforms, we're talking about delivery, pet services, and on-demand tasks. They generate fast cash flow, though they remain time-based. So we also have digital products such as printables or short-form video monetization, which scale better over time. Then the tech-enabled services, including no-code web design and AI-assisted content creation, continue to grow as businesses that seek efficiency. Now, as a banker, we're looking for compounding potential, not just income for today, but tomorrow's scalability. If you check on my other videos, I am big on scalability, something that will not take up too much of your time, too much effort, something that possibly could be automated to a certain extent, and of course will still give you any capacity without adding high blood pressure to already the existing pressures happening around the world. And of course, doubling down to Nigeria, earning in dollars is less about location but more about platform access. So what platforms do you have access to? And basically, freelance marketplaces allow Nigerians to sell skills globally, like writing, design, editing, research, and tech support. You just have to be very creative. Now, every single thing I'm telling you here are things that are verifiable online. I'm sure you have heard more than one or two people, also on YouTube and other platforms, talk about monetization on YouTube, Fiverr, Upwork. Freelance work is, definitely you have to upskill because it can be quite competitive. And of course, selling digital products, ebooks, and the likes, guides, templates, or educational material removes shipping and inventory risk for you. These are things you can do from the comfort of your home and put a price tag based on the value you perceive it will give your client or your audience. And from a banker's view, Nigerian hustles that succeed focus on exporting services, not physical goods, because many a times some of these things, when regulatory law changes and all that, it may be out of your capacity. So you don't need to do everything. You can just pick one, and start grooming yourself on it until you gain perfection. All right. For instance, what I'm doing now is the creation of, or is actualizing creation of a digital course. This is uploaded on YouTube, but it can be sold as a course on its own. And it can even be increased into a masterclass whereby after this course is done, still have a separate group where they can ask questions, break them down, handhold them. It just depends on how far and wide you want it to go. All right. So moving into a banker's criteria, so before starting a side hustle, as a banker, I will ask three questions, and this is something you should also be able to apply. Can this scale without increasing my stress? Personally, I don't like anything that will give me too much stress. And that's not to say that anything good is not worth doing well or not putting in some effort. But you have to ask yourself, is the stress equals to what you are getting, or are you getting more than the amount of work you are putting in, if you get what I mean? Do you control the platform or at least the audience? And can demand be proven before heavy investment? So I always advise start small. Any level of investment you're going into, please learn to start small before you go in fully. So you don't waste too much of your money and time. And then at the end of the day, you find out that you ask yourself, what am I doing? Why have I wasted this much effort? All right. So if a hustle depends entirely on one platform, one algorithm, or constant hustle, it means that the risk for that particular hustle or business is very, very high. So what am I trying to say here? Sustainability matters more than the speed. Like I said, business can be very boring. Starting out a side hustle can be very boring, especially when it's not in the league of the get rich quick platform. So strategy matters, all right, because in the UK, combining digital products with content builds long-term leverage. In the US, pairing fast cash gigs with scalable content balances income. I know for some people this may just sound like so much. So it's something that you may need to come back and watch again, digest, and do your own research. Because anything pertaining to money, you need to calm down, take your time before you make final decisions. While in Nigeria, freelancing plus digital products sales, they usually create currency protection. I have courses that I sell in USD and pounds, and it just makes up for all the effort and sleepless nights and resources put into it, right? So the goal is not to do everything, is to do one thing well and then expand and increase on that. All right. So some things can work in Nigeria and not work in the UK, as I say, and work in UK and not work in the US. So there are some of these side hustles that you have to first of all do your research on demand in that location. So there may be more demand for YouTube creators, let's say in Nigeria, than in the US or UK. This is just an example, right? So YouTube digital services, however, I think across all countries, there are always people looking for YouTube services. So it just depends on what exactly you want to take advantage of, what your strength is or are, and what your weaknesses is or are. So my final tip, what is my final tip? Choose one hustle and test it for 30 days, right? And track your real earnings, not likes or views, right? If it's a digital product, how many are you able to sell within 30 days? If it is YouTube, how many views are you getting? How many hours are you compiling before monetization? So there are so many things you need to look at, and of course, as usual, I've created a side hustle launchpad checklist to help you evaluate and start responsibly. So if this breakdown helped you to think differently about income, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course share with family members and friends. And as usual, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to drop in the comments. I am available to expand. Remember, most of my videos are just the basics. They cannot say everything at once, because when it comes to money, the onus is on you, as I always say, to also do some research to find what works for you. So one investment on one side hustle that works for you, maybe you decide to go into ghostwriting and you're earning thousands of dollars. Someone else may try ghostwriting and it may not work, because these side hustles usually depend on what your interests are, what your likes are, and what keeps you. It has to be something you love doing. All right. So of course, as usual, my name is Dr. Ish, finance strategist and former banker. I look forward to hearing from you, your comments, your like, your subscription, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. I also have other videos on palm oil investment, um, high yield savings accounts, different parts of wealth management and increments that can help you to make smarter and wiser financial money decisions. I'll be seeing you in the next video.